us and our allies. You know who it is, Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Friends of ADOS TV channel, bringing you those ADOS hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for Democratic down ballot. And today, we're going to dig into a little bit of what Biden is offering to the immigrants to give them a pathway to citizenship before cutting us those checks. Yes, family, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all of the responses that I've been getting since the Twitter wars with the ADOS movement purging, okay, growing, stretching. It's horrible that we have to do it in these social media spaces, family, but that's where it's happening. And so I'm going to touch a little bit and respond to my responders of my response video on Sunday to all the mayhem that's happening within the movement right now. I'm going to be much calmer. I'm not going to lose my entire mind because I did that on Sunday and I'm better now. I got it out of my system. So this is a more loving message to the ADOS, to our allies on how we can be better, how we can love each other through this process, okay? Because we all got to move. We all bleed American descendant of chattel slavery. FBA, B1, some of them come over here and actually watch the show. I've talked to some of them. So I'm not one of these types that kind of works within the confines of the ADOS movement. I like to collaborate with others of like mind and like spirit and energy and like love for the ADOS. Yes, I do. And I just am open because every group is going through their growing pains. Not a one of us agree totally with the way our leaders are managing through the social media spaces and would prefer and encourage them to do something more loving so that people won't fall out of the movement. I was shocked after my show Sunday to learn of how many people have abandoned the movement because of the infighting. And so I'm going to touch on some of these things that are of concern to the people that I need to address, okay? I'm also going to read from Presidential. We've got two more dead presidents, William Taft and Woodrow Wilson, to go through. And so we're going to do that as well. So follow in, start your watch parties. Shout out to my brother, Robert Sine. That is who the intro music is from. I'm not sure if many of you know it, but I am the daughter of an original Ohio player. Yes, I am. That's a whole nother drama. You know, ADOS life, baby. My father, chose to go into music. And so my stepdad, God bless him, raised me from since I was a baby. And when my brother was recruited by Zapp, featuring Roger Troutman, he met my father in the studio for Troutman. I do believe it was a Computer Love album. And they became best friends. And that's how I came to learn that my biological father was an original band member of the Ohio Players. And my brother, unbeknownst to us, developed his musical genius without his influence. It's like it was hardwired into his DNA. So this is Robert Sine you're listening to. Visit him at robertsine.com, SANAE. Okay, family? And feast on his amazing work. He is an incredible talent. I just happened to use this song as an intro to the Friends of ADOS TV channel. And he's asking me to actually try to use different songs from his freshman and sophomore album. So when he sends me those that he thinks are real fire, I'll start to play those under the opening to give his other songs on his 2 albums. He may have 3 by now. some love on this channel. So visit him again at robertsine.com. Okay, family? And thank you so much for joining the live. Thank you for tuning in. Let's dig right into this, family, so I can get you out at a decent hour, okay? Thank you for joining the live. Okay, so I'm going to respond to the responders of my response video to what was happening in Twitter that upset me deeply. Okay, I'm not going to be going off the rails. I did that already. But I want to lovingly impart some more information so that people can understand what's been going on. This is a part of the growing pains of movement. I just had hoped, that this part would have been done by now. We've been at it. It'll be 2 years in January. But, we're still growing through. What's up, King John 2015? Oh, that's nice. Thank you so much. And I'm going to try to leave some time at the end to address any questions or concerns you might have, okay? Just to give you a little backstory if you're new to the show, I started watching Yvette Carnell, whom I love. Don't let that get lost in translation of my admonishment of Yvette and Tone and the way I feel they're mismanaging a movement that loves them dearly. I was privileged when I was working Bernie Sanders' first campaign to happen upon Yvette in Boyce Watkins. She was working with him and for him at that time. Fell in love with her wit, her political acumen. She was just so fire to me, and I still love her deeply to this day. Like I said, don't let that be lost in translation of me sharing the way I see it. So started studying, and then Kamala I'm going to fast forward. When we kept asking, what is the solution? She said she didn't want to do movement, but we couldn't see the forest on fire with ADOS being consumed by all of the dreadful politics that was being weaponized against us to keep us tethered to the bottom. And so we were itching to move. The boomers, the Gen Xers, the millennials. And when Kamala threw her hat in the ring and Yvette was already schooling us, what's up, Mines Tara? Thank you for joining the live. Let's see here. I'm very far right. Hope you still nice. Oh, yes. We're not a monolith, King John 2015. I understand that we all vote differently, but guess what? We have a love for ADOS that is all the way down to our baby toe. We have a love for the ancestors whose lives built all the wealth that all the other groups benefit from but ADOS. So I don't care if you FBA, B1, BF1, Republican, Libertarian, Green Party, Democrat. This is a place where everyone is welcome. And I love your insight. Please type it in the chat. There's no war on this channel. I get incensed when I see us dragging each other, akin to what our oppressors already do. I err on the side of love and peace. And that's really my wheelhouse. If you ever watch at the end of my show, I always say a prayer to cloak us in the spirit, to remind us that you are the face of God and the voice of God and the very temple of God. So to tear each other apart goes against the nature in which we were birthed. We are not these bodies, but that's a whole nother show. So you're very welcome. And I'm very nice till I get, pushed. Like any of us, we're all human. Speaking of which, let me apologize to Atlanta too. That's next on my notes. I got to apologize because I'm not too big to do that, okay? Back to how I got to become a co-founder of the ADOS SoCal movement. Kamala threw her hat in the ring, and from the political education we have been receiving, we got busy in Twitter to help defeat her candidacy. The mass media came after us, calling us Russian bots. Whenever you're doing anything for ADOS specifically, they don't like that. Government and the media are working in tandem to keep us so distracted by all the immigrants, all the white folks, and taking care of everybody, just like they want us to use our votes to unseat Trump, which many of us are not doing in the movement. You're free to do that. If you want to vote Democrat, you're free to do it, but I'm going to share with you why that a trifecta of either party is going to be to our demise, okay? Anywho, she was teaching us politically about Kamala, and we went to work, just tearing her to shreds so she wouldn't get traction. All of a sudden, all the attacks from the Joy-Ann Reid morning show, Roland Martin, these are immigrants, and they start slinging mud, not getting in the fight with us for reparations, which we are long overdue. We've been here since long before 1619. I mean, the Spanish owned us, the Jews owned us. It's so much history I'm learning through, just tuning into Yvette and following book clubs and things of this nature. She inspired me to do this work, to help her spread the message of the ADOS movement, to recruit more people to the movement. We're a bunch of educated professionals. Some are educated from prison. Some are self-educated through reading a ton of books. Some have a GED. Some have a high school diploma. Some have a bachelor's, master's, doctorates. It's ADOS life over here. So we kept asking what the solution was. We sought to expose Kamala, which Tulsi Gabbard must have took all of Yvette's talking points and exposed her on the debate stage. And then it really helped us in our efforts to dismantle her. And she bowed out of the race. She couldn't raise any money from us. A lot of her donors are Hillary Clinton supporters. So who do you think is going to be pulling the strings if Kamala is within a stone's throw of the presidency in the way that they've set her up? They have co-opted the elections. Obama has interfered with our elections in the same way they accuse the Republicans for suppressing the vote. Okay? Anywho, I formed ADOS Cali movement, and I learned from one of our comrades in Sacramento, I'm not going to throw out names, about another movement down here that had already been started. We met and decided to form ADOS SoCal. And things were clipping along pretty good, but there started to be a lot of control issues where folks wanted to control how I spoke, what I said, how I had exchanges. And because they had more experience than me, they would come behind me in Facebook and dismantle things that they weren't in agreement with. Never took it to a vote, just people running amok with the power going to their heads. Then they did it to another comrade in the Twitter spaces. Then they quit like twice. Then I was trying to move to have this power structure dismantled and just have us head committees so that people wouldn't get, let their egos run amok. The next thing I know, the assets are being stolen. And this didn't just happen to us here. It's happened to other chapters. And so this is what the PAC was designed to do. Give us structure on the local, state, and national levels. Okay? So that everybody would be moving in the same way, to the same beat. And so now we're in this dreadful position of trying to play catch up. And it's horrific because my prayer is that we still have enough comrades willing to do this work after what's been happening in the Twitter space. So yeah, that's how I came to be a co-founder of ADOS SoCal. Marlon Aldridge out of Dayton, Ohio, where I was raised, he wanted a PAC, so he joined us in those efforts. He joined me. We partnered and bought the PAC. And I don't want to jump around a lot, but people keep asking, why didn't we vet Yvette and Tone? Why didn't Tamara vet Yvette and Tone? Well, we had a mutual friend, Tone and I. She's an attorney. She's known him 10 years. He refused to return a call. He refused to respond to her request to join a briefing via email. So it's not like we haven't tried to reach Tone and or Yvette. I remember Tamara sharing how difficult it was to get the attention of Yvette to try to come on the show. And a lot of it, I'm telling you, is just ego. Ego is in the way. And folks saying, I don't want to be a movement, all the while telling us to move and tying our hands. So Mullen and I, we formed the Friends of ADOS PAC. The name is changing. The name is changing because it's too much drama. It was dragged long before Tamara was dragged in Twitter. Then Yvette did a whole show, didn't pick up a phone. Thankfully, she had Marlon and I on there, but the damage had been done. She had people convinced that we couldn't afford to pay for politics, all the while saying we're on fire. We're in the fight of our lives to prevent from becoming the permanent underclass. So which is it? We can't be both on fire. And this be the last election, everything matters is on the line. Told to go be the solution and then have our hands tied from being the solution. And not in a loving way. So Tone opted not to come onto a briefing. He chose instead to start dragging us during Super Bowl when he did the chicken suit, Blue Ivy chicken suits selling out. But Beyonce's chicken suits, I guess she fashioned some suits out off of Popeyes and they were selling off the racks, which is to my point. We're not a wealthless group. We clearly are buying Beyonce's chicken suits and whatever we want, we can have the income to do it. I mean, maybe not so much anymore given COVID and 60 million layoffs. But for the most part, we're not an incomeless group, especially the ones that do a lot of lifting in this movement. And my thing is, I'm here to get the right people in Congress, because if that doesn't happen, we continue to have people like Sheila Jackson Lee, who is collaborating with NARC and NCOBRA to co-opt the reparations that are due us, to make everybody whole when it's our ancestors that laid their lives on the line as the most heinous chattel slaves in this country. And it's still going on. It's called the private prison industrial complex. It's called not being able to get employment because you don't have the complexion for the protection. It's called suppressed wages because the immigrants come over here and that suppresses and does the most damage to ADOS. Okay, down here you have to speak Spanish just to get a job interview. And we're 44% of the degree down here, 6% of the population flattened with African and Caribbean immigrants, but only 6% of the private sector. Okay, so all these things are coming against us, and we're trying to replace a lame Congress who, oh, by the way, HR 40 was collecting dust before the ADOS movement. Trust and believe. All of that, so the revolution is being social mediaized. That's the way for us to reach the largest number of people. And so we bought that HR 40 hearing in government to life. And Cobra and NARC been at it forever. Never heard of them until we breathed life into HR 40. But there's lots of things wrong with HR 40. It has no teeth in it. And they pretty much are making everybody whole. That's what they do with our stuff, family. Affirmative action has gone the way of the white woman first, the immigrant second, and the LGBTQ third. So this is what the government is famous for, giving with the left hand and taking away to restore other groups with the right. This is why we're demanding our reparations in the trillions over multi-generations. I don't need you to give me a free home. When I've got my share, I can buy my home. I'm a homeowner. I'm a unicorn. Lots of us are unicorns in the movement. We're established. We're educated professionals, but we're fighting for all of ADOS because none of us are free until all of us are free. That's my mantra. That's my square. I've never changed. Anywho, so we formed a PAC to bring infrastructure. We said so on the show that when you don't have structure, you have no accountability. So we were told, and it was the very first time I ever heard Yvette claim this as her movement, was when she brought us on that show. She said, I don't want your PAC for our movement, my movement. So we had done the vetting. We were at the inaugural conference. Tamara Johnson Shealy threw us a sip for the PAC. Tone was there, okay? And we started picking through that illustrious crowd. I mean, that inaugural conference was lit. It was just a love affair for all the people we had met over social media. This was an opportunity to meet them. So Marlon and I got very busy recruiting people within the movement, the best of the best, the best of the best. I'm not going to name their names because I don't have permission to do that. We had the best and the brightest in the movement. We had been vetting for close to a year, but every time I looked up, Tone was low-key shading the PAC. And then Black Patriarch took an excerpt of a video, and instead of the very educated people within this movement going to view the entire tape for context, the very people I was close to started dragging me. It was diabolical. I was being labeled a grifter and all manner of thing. After a year of putting in work, after a few months of trying to get Tone to come onto a briefing about the PAC, the next thing I know, I'm getting calls that Yvette's going live about the PAC. We're trying to dial in. And so I got people working with me to try to get on the show to share our peace. And I came in peace, but the damage had been done. And this is what I mean by the movement should have picked up a phone and not have these kind of drag sessions for people who are giving their blood, sweat, and tears to this movement, myself included. I don't get a dime from Tony or Yvette to do chapter meetings, to do any of it, to form the PAC, none of it. Well, when Black Patriarch did that, and Yvette did her show, 4 of our stars dropped out of the board. Fast forward to what you have in front of you today. I think we're on day 5 or 6 of Twitter wars, and the movement is imploding because the very thing we had intended with the PAC was to give it structure, to join the chapters and its members, all the comrades, to be on one accord, to move as one accord to get our top brass elected on the local, state, and national levels. So when you ask, why didn't I make a call before going live with my response? This is why. Nobody answers the phone. Nobody responds to email. So I had to do what I'm accustomed to, have my say in social media. I love you, Yvette. I mean you no disrespect. It's a tough conversation to have, but I liberated a lot of voices on Sunday. I've got the texts, the phone calls, the inboxes, the emails of people thanking me for giving voice to the pain they've been feeling behind what's been happening over in Twitter. And I'm glad I was a landing place for my movement. We are the movement, don't you ever forget it. There's a difference between creating a hashtag and being on the ground. I commend every one of you on the ground because we've got a lot of people. Tony and Yvette got about 80,000 subscribers apiece. I can count on maybe 2 hands and 2 pair of feet how many of us are actually moving weight in here. So I thank you for those who are really here to make serious change. ADOS Atlanta, I got a call out of the ATL. And I'm sorry. I'm not too big to apologize. I only know Tamara's side of how things unraveled in Atlanta. Shout out to William Dickens. Shout out to Trey Lincoln, Travis Johnson. You know I got nothing but love for you, my brother. I'll get to your comments and questions. If you can ask me anything, I'm an open book. We can't fix what we're not willing to face. Okay. ADOS Atlanta. I love that, Travis. Ida B. Wells. Thank you. ADOS Atlanta, I apologize. I didn't mean to suggest that you weren't working on behalf of Tamara. I didn't know the whole story. I thank you for all of you who are moving weight for her. I greatly appreciate you. If I could offer something I could have done, you guys could have entertained and done differently. Maybe you didn't know it was available to you. One of my callers said that they only had 5 people working, and Tamara had one ambition and then went to this higher ambition of the U.S. Senate and didn't have enough support. In the future, call on the other chapters. I lean on William Dickens' chapter. I lean on Travis Johnson's. I think Travis is now FBA. He was one of the ones that was driven away, had a beautiful idea to do Selma and was dragged. So I think he's FBA now, but he's been on my show. I can call on FBA, B1, BF1, because it's love for me. We all bleed American descendant of chattel slavery, foundational Black American, Black first. What's up, Felina? Thank you for joining the live. Speaking of which, I got a surprise. I think Angela Walker's coming on the show Sunday, vice presidential candidate of the Green Party. I'm waiting to confirm the time. I'm excited. Oh, okay. So Felina says the VP debates are tomorrow. The attacks on Angela Walker is Redick. I don't know what that means, but let me explain something to you. We should have learned with Obama that when white folks support it, we need to march the opposite direction. When white folks support it, we need to march the opposite direction. Okay? So, white folks supported Obama. That was our cue to not vote for Obama and do this protest vote now. And I want to read you something from Sunday's show, to show you that the ancestors in the early 1900s were seeking to break the back of the establishment. I'm going to read that probably every show until time. Okay. Okay. Anywho, like I was saying, my family is blowing me up in the thing here. Let me put that on silent so we're not interrupted. Okay. Yes. Oh, Travis is foundational Black America, but he's always ADOS for me. He was born in ADOS, and he will always be family. Okay. Anywho, back to my notes. Okay. It's a healing time, family. This is not a rage show. We're not doing that today. I'm all hollowed out. Okay. Antoine Walker, I love you, Black and strong. That's okay. You're always on time whenever you get here. I know Be the Power was on. Listen here. ADOS life is happening. Had to get my daughter from track, go and get her stuff for her dinner. Baby, I get here when I get here. But y'all know how to do your watch parties, right? And y'all know how to come back and look at the archives. Speaking of which, please enroll over in YouTube. Subscribe, share the channel, donate. It costs to do these shows. But if you don't have it, just continue to show up. I appreciate that part. And share. This is the way we grow when we share. Okay, and I'm going to get to y'all's comments. Keep chatting. Okay, so ADOS Atlanta, I apologize. I didn't know the whole story. That's not my monkey, not my circus. In the future, I highly recommend you reach out to me and Triangle ADOS and DMV. These are some of my... We have worked on COVID relief letters. We have worked on a march that the movement snuffed out. They snuffed out our COVID letter. We tried to get a meeting with Tom Steyer. That was squashed. I mean, it's very difficult to move and to grow when you've got the leadership oppressing and suppressing all your efforts. But I'm not here to drag. I'm here to love and lovingly convey to our leadership what they could do differently to embrace these beautiful, brilliant minds that are making this movement grow. We're the ones. I still share your video, even after Sunday's rant event. I share your videos because I am cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over you. Now, I don't like this part. I want you to be more of a leader and get in front of it and assuage it. Take the batteries out of your minions' backs. That's what I would prefer. Then I wouldn't have to be begging people to come back to the movement, because that's what's happening now. I'm in begging mode. Anywho, I apologize, Atlanta, but the bottom line is we have to rely on our other chapters to help us donate and make dials for all of our candidates. I think we had a good 12 or 15 running at every level of government. And oh, by the way, no one in this movement gets to tell another how God speaks to them on how they should move. You're not an authority on what's too ambitious. What if the ancestors thought that our freedom was too ambitious? Do you know how many ancestors thought that? Harriet Tubman had to threaten to shoot them along the way. So there's nothing too ambitious when you're at DEFCON 4. Nothing too ambitious when you're at George Floyd 846 to the neck. Nothing too ambitious when you can be sleeping in your own home and on a no-knock warrant, police batter and ram through your home and murder you in your own house and you're not allowed to defend yourself. There's nothing too ambitious. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But people are coming for me. She should have done local. She should have did this. She should have did that. Are you the one getting in your RV, driving through rural Georgia where she could be harmed? No, I'm not wishing that on her, but we know it goes down at the Wendy's in the city. It goes down out in the hood. So imagine she's taking her RV to collect votes in rural Georgia by herself. If you're not doing that, you don't get to speak on what's too ambitious. If Marlon and I pull our money together to form a super PAC, you don't get to tell us, not now, we don't have money for that. It's too ambitious. We were told to be the movement. That's what we do. So no. Her aspiring to senator, she made that pivot. You didn't have the manpower. We've already been donating and dialing all over the country. Next time, Atlanta, reach out to your family throughout the country. We got you. Call me direct. Everybody knows how to reach me. I'm the one with the big mouth. Next, TJS aiming higher than ADOS LA. No one gets to tell us. Okay, I did that part. Next, it's counterintuitive to constantly be told. Yeah, I did that pretty much. I don't want to. I'm almost done, family. Once more, there are a lot. Oh, let's go back to the hashtag because folks are. I don't understand. Do you understand how many people coin different hashtags? Mike Michelson is one of the biggest ones. Little things I say because, see, I may be a city girl down here in Long Beach, but I am from Dayton, Ohio, Midwest. My parents, my four parents, ancestors, migrated to, forgive the noise, ADOS life is happening outside. It's 9 degrees. I got to keep these things open because I'm very hot. But my family migrated from Kentucky and Tennessee post-slavery to Ohio. So I've got several generations there. Everybody takes little sound bites. I love you black and strong. I can see that in the hashtag. I see any manner of thing. Just folks, whatever I say, I can find it in a hashtag and it tickles me. So be the power. It's well within their rights to say I am a reparationist. It doesn't make them any less ADOS. It doesn't make me any less ADOS. It doesn't make Travis, William, whoever wants to make a hashtag is free to make a hashtag. These are slogans. We're free to sell merchandise. Once I sell merch, it's going to help me offset the cost of doing these shows. This stuff is not cheap. It's not cheap to have a Zoom. It's not cheap to do a StreamYard. So we need to do little things to raise money to do our shows, okay? And it doesn't take anything away from you, Yvette or Tone. I see 50s, 100s. I'm not getting that on my little channel, okay? But let's stop with this poverty consciousness. We may not have wealth, but we have money for the things that matter. And as long as you're helping it make it, as long as it's mattering to the people, they're going to hit you up. It's coming. I'm not pressed or sweating it. I do it for the love of ADOS. And that's the love I feel from you, Yvette, when you do your shows. We're not encroaching on your bag. Get your bag. You have earned your bag. Much respect. I've given you a piece of my bag. I think I still got you on recurring. Okay? So listen, but I can recur to the PAC. I'm on recurring payments to the PAC. I'm on recurring payments to Tamara. I hit Tara Perry, who is running for District 8 City Council down here. I'm here for these ADOS politics to change. So, slogans are not the movement, and it doesn't separate them from the movement because they create a slogan. It's just silly to me that we're fretting as if we've got this poverty consciousness that they don't have enough to donate to Yvette and Tone, to donate to the PAC, to donate to our candidates. Yes, we do. Stop minding our pocketbooks. Not everybody has money, but people can make dials, okay? I did about the PAC. Okay, so I also have been hearing complaints of Tamara's disposition as members of Atlanta. What's up, Black Dollar University? Thank you for joining the line. What's up, NJ1 Spartan? Thank you for joining the line. Thank you, all my loves. Oh, my beloveds. Thank you for joining. Okay, let me finish because y'all know I was born to talk. Okay, people from Atlanta were calling me. She's difficult to work with. Let me tell you something. I'm difficult to work with at times. But we always have to go back to our square family. This is difficult. It's all difficult. We all have our moments. We're all managing work and children and husbands and wives and grandkids and animals, dogs and cats. We have full lives. So oftentimes by the time we get to what we're born to do, because I'm in my passion over here. I love ADOS and I love to talk and I love Black politics. So I'm in my passion. I am dog tired right now. You probably can't tell, but I'm going to crash after the show. It takes everything out of me. So if we're little crab apples sometimes, can y'all please forgive it? We're family, like brothers and sisters. Okay? Please don't let these upsets in the Twitter, these upsets on my show, the upsets of Tamara on Be the Power. We're expressing ourselves. We're getting it out. It must be purged. We cannot fix what we will not face. But please, 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 don't wear your feelings and emotions on your sleeve. What I know of Tamara is probably very different than what you know of Tamara. Okay? I know I'm not for everyone. I'm okay with that. Please don't let it usurp the bigger vision. We have a people to liberate and get those reparations. We can do it when we get past this dumb stuff. We don't wasted 6 days fighting in Twitter. Imagine how many dials could have been made. Okay? So don't wear your feelings on your sleeves, family. Let's move on. I moved on after I got off my chest. Get it off your chest. I don't ever encourage you to hold it in. Get it off your chest. But don't let it force you to quit the movement or to quit working for the people whom are going to be reparationists in Congress. It don't matter that we want reparations until we get at least 150 reps in Congress that are full-chested like a Tamara. Please. Once again, I'm happy to work with whoever wants to move. FBA, B1, BF1, Black Lives Matter. Listen, this is where we part company, okay? If you're financed by white money, I can't come in and take your projects over. That's like pushing a boulder up a straight hill. Like, who's doing that? I don't have energy to build ADOS and take over the NAACP, the National Urban League, or Black Lives Matter. But if y'all want to help us in this reparations fight, I'm happy to partner with you. We got 3 work groups over in ADOS Cali. Speaking of which, that is not finished. FBA reached out to me today. Angela, this is crap. Well, we tried to get our edits in there. But that's why the work isn't done, family. It was a huge victory just to get the governor to sign it. Do you know that was the last day? That was the last day. That thing was about to dissipate into smoke after a year of working with Dr. Weber to get it on his desk. Thank you, Ice Cube. See, instead of dragging the celebrities, Kelly picked up a phone. Okay? We have got to work with each other and leverage the celebrities. Don't disparage them. Don't disparage FBA. Not everybody is as messy as Tyreek or Jason Black or Yvette Carnell. Yeah, she's in that mess too. Listen, have your show. I just say, what's up, Kunta? I say, don't live there. That's all I'm asking. I need to see shows on the census, on how not to suppress our votes in the restricted and never write-in states, on registering to vote. Like, I want to see us do politics. Definitely defend yourself. I mean, I'm defending myself, but let's not live there. I wouldn't even be touching this if my phone wasn't lit, my email, my text, my inbox. So I'm willing to work with who wants to get this work done. That's all I want to say about that. Okay, next, I thank you guys for, now this may not be the last time I come on here, okay? Yvette didn't do a show yesterday. I'm expecting to be dragged. What's up, cousin? Ain't no John Kenneth Dixon. That's my cousin, y'all. Yeah, I'm used to getting dragged. I've grown a thick skin. In the beginning, I would just cry my little eyes out. Tamara can tell you. I called her and she encouraged me to keep pushing in the way that I've been calling to encourage her. And for those of you who think she should join this Twitter, why would she waste 6 days over in Twitter defending any of that nonsense, defending who she is? That's precious time she's spending right now on radio spots and doing everything in her power to get elected. Let's help her get elected. TamaraforGeorgia.com. Kunta, can you type that for me? TamaraforGeorgia.com. He sometimes will be my keyboard warrior. Any one of y'all can pick it up. I don't have any moderators. I'm not that fancy. I am talking to y'all from my sofa in my living room. I don't have no AC. Okay? This is a grassroots ADOS family affair. Y'all know, y'all been rolling with me for, oh my God, about 18 months now. Anyway, okay, so that's enough of that. I'll get to your comments momentarily, but I want to jump into Biden. What's up, Tanya Princess? Shayna, thank y'all guys for joining the live. I got to show my family love when they come in the chat. I thank y'all for being over here. I love y'all Black and strong. You know I do. Okay, Biden is a problem. Now, I know everybody in their feelings, folks is thinking because I dragged Trump's ass. Yes, I had to drag him. He's sitting up here weaponizing a stimulus with 60 million people laid off in the country. He's weaponizing the stimulus to strong arm you into voting for him. Ain't that about a blip? Now, that to me is dumb and dumber. Because to me, if you were to sign the stimulus, perhaps you get more votes. Okay? Perhaps you get more votes. I don't get making the people lose their homes and eat dirt, and how you and your dumb crew have decided that's a brilliant idea for getting elected. It baffles me. So I dragged it. So folks thought because I dragged Trump that I was on the Biden train. Y'all got me all the way mixed up. That's never going to happen. I don't care if he withhold that stimulus. He still ain't in prison close to 1 million Black men in the new slavery called the private prison industrial complex. He still has no serious plan to dismantle private prisons that the feds pay the state for beds to imprison ADOS. And don't come telling me, because folks have tried it, that these bullets don't know ethnicity, meaning they don't know the difference between a Black immigrant and an ADOS. Well, when you are in LA, $200 liquid versus African immigrants, $60,000 liquid, which neighborhoods do you think They're trolling. Okay? So please don't come up in here trying to make this government-sanctioned execution an all-black thing. You're doing significantly better. You're able to live amongst white people. They have made you white because the color of white in this country is green. So you've been made white. They're not in your neighborhoods. I'm in a multicultural neighborhood, but we still got a little bit of that element, but it's having to leave because once the white folks gentrify and they put a nice grocery store on the corner, the police handle their business. Okay, so y'all black immigrants blues, y'all doing exceptionally well. I don't mean to disparage those of you who may not be, but by and large, you're doing quite well. And you're not in the neighborhoods where these police are executing us. So Biden don't have a plan to dismantle private prisons. He don't have a plan to dismantle qualified immunity. And he was at a church, I can't recall which execution it was. He showed up and said, don't shoot to murder the people, just shoot them in the leg or something. How about we don't want to be shot at all? How about that? So no, me dragging Trump will never be synonymous with me voting for the author of the 94 crime bill, segregationist Jim Crow Joe, who is as much a racist as Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just in your face about it, which I prefer. If you're going to be a racist, let me see you. Don't be a Republican in Democratic clothing, because that's what Biden is. He's Strom Thurmond's boy. Look it up. I ain't making stuff up. So anyway, he's already told you nothing will fundamentally change. But he's got big plans for 11 million more immigrants to have access to this country and give them a pathway to citizenship before making you whole. They're sitting up here throwing a couple more trillion at the stimulus, but they don't have money to start repairing the 24 trillion they owe ADOS. So do know, boys and girls, nothing has changed. I am absolutely going to be voting that Green Party top of the ticket and delivering the most progressive Democratic down ballot that is afforded me out here in California. Yes, I am. And I'm encouraging you to as well. That beautiful Angela Walker, for those of you who just joined, she is ADOS for real. She ain't talking about Tupac as her favorite artist and then having to be reminded that he's dead. She's not ski-weeing. She's not, co-opting the Black experience. Trying to get elected and trying to act like she give a damn about us. Her record down here proves otherwise. I ain't got time to do that show. Look it up. Okay, so no, that would be an absolutely not. Green Party is not only offering reparations, it may not be perfect, but family. I'm just trying to get them to 5% so they can be on every ballot throughout the country. Angela Walker, prayerfully, I'm trying to confirm, will be here Sunday. So get your questions ready for her. She is a trucker and a single mom, and she bleed American descendant of chattel slavery. Okay? And Narcan and Cobra are already over there trying to co-opt our discussion, just like they down here in California, trying to co-opt that discussion. Okay? So, no. She's ADOS for real, and she's going to be here to get your questions ready. Anywho, back to Biden. Kamala told you she ain't doing nothing specifically for you. While she has an agenda for H-1B visas for more of her ilk. She's Brahmin, East Indian Brahmin caste is white in India. We are considered the Dalits. We're on the bottom. Martin Luther King Jr. told you when he went over to India, okay, that you're a Dalit. You are an untouchable. If we were in India, we'd be here. Kamala's people, okay? Because what, boys and girls? What is the color of white in this country? All together now. Green, 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 green. That's shmoney, baby. So she told you she ain't doing nothing specifically for us who are tethered on the bottom in the country our ancestors built with their lives while everybody else climbs over top of us and gets benefits, set-asides, affirmative action, and we get government sanction execution and COVID. No, they're not getting my vote. He's got plans to bring in 11 million more immigrants. Now, let me explain to you. The Espanol community is 56 million to our ADOS. We got 35 million total blacks. I do believe ADOS is 31 million. Now, when you're offering 11 million more of them a pathway to citizenship, what's that? 56 million plus 11. 67 million of them. While we get government sanctioned execution and we get COVID and we get miseducated, we get the preschool to prison pipeline, we get lack of home ownership, we get unemployment, we get underemployment, we get lack of loans for businesses. I've already told you, Biden's Lift Every Voice plan lifts all the voices but ADOS. And Trump's plan wants to lend you $500 billion of the 24 trillion you're owed. And he wants more cops in your communities to execute you over giving you resources. Biden 2, debate 1, they were having a pissing match over who was tougher on crime. My Long Island 1, thank you for joining the live. Yeah, so I want to read you a little something. And then I'm going to read you something else. And then I'm going to read you something else. And then we're going to pray and get out of here, okay? Okay, so I want to read you this thing from Biden about the immigrants and what he's intending. It's very small. Bear with me. I know sometimes we can have attention deficit disorder. I know I do. Let me speak for myself. So I try not to go on and on. But this is important, family. You have to understand what these Democrats have in store for you. A trifecta of either party is going to be to our decimation. If we allow Trump at the top and a Democratic Congress, it locks them down to stop hurting ADOS. They'll be too busy fighting. They'll get nothing accomplished. But if we get a trifecta, let me help you. Everybody will get their bags that have been promised to them immediately within the first 100 days. And they're going to go home. And ADOS execution will continue, and they're going to pump up the volume. Be afraid. Be very afraid. And when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You know what that means. You know, wink, wink, what that means. The feds, from what I understand, ADOS Zanera said, have already come in and bust up INFAC. Look it up in FAC. So I'm not saying things out loud on this channel, but you know what you must do to protect you and yours. When you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So let me read you this little excerpt. Modernize America's immigration system. As president, Biden will commit significant political capital to finally deliver legislative immigration reform to ensure that the U.S. remains open and welcoming to people from every part of the world, and to bring hard-working people who have enriched our communities and our country, in some cases for decades, out of the shadows. I take breaths, family, because it is a lot to see them try and make it appear as if immigrants have contributed more to this country than our ancestors who have been here over 401 years, who left an $11 trillion surplus post-slavery that they have now amassed to over 100 trillion household dollars that they share, to ADOS less than 700 billion since COVID. That 31 million share less than 700 billion. And you want to sit up here and commend them over reparations and a Black agenda in exchange for our vote. I am more afraid of our extinction than I am Trump another 4 years. He's not done anything more egregious than Donald Trump to the ADOS. Nobody can tell me other than he's a mean racist, which they all are. what he's done more egregious. So, anyhow, back to my story. This is not just of concern to Latino communities. This touches families of every heritage and background. There are approximately 1.7 million undocumented immigrants from Asia in the U.S., as well as hundreds of thousands from Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and the Caribbean. The only people doing slightly worse than us is the Mexican. But they have significantly higher degrees than we do. And they're about $5,000 shy of what we earn in terms of a median income down here in LA. Let that sink in. We're being replaced. And they want you to sign up for your replacement and your extinction. That's what they want you to vote for, your own extinction. Biden will immediately begin working with Congress to modernize our system with a priority on keeping families together by providing a roadmap to citizenship for nearly 11 million undocumented immigrants. The war on drugs that the CIA and the government were complicit on waging in our communities have left many of us ADOS women single moms. The war on drugs put quite a few of our brothers in jail. And Biden, whom you guys want us to vote for, made crack more serious an offense than cocaine when his son, Hunter Biden, was doing both cocaine and crack and was honorably discharged and is now making $1 bazillion doing backdoor foreign deals that Trump is truthfully calling his ass out about in the debates. But wants you to believe Trump is always lying. That's the problem with folks that lie. When they tell them the truth, you can't believe them because they lie all the damn time. But there's a lot of truth in some of the things Trump has to impart. Biden is selling you snake oil. We didn't have the capital to go over to Nicaragua and fly these drugs up in our communities, nor the guns. They set us up to get us hooked on drugs in our despair instead of bringing resources to our communities. Education, jobs, home ownership, and businesses. Because when we had those things, we weren't murdering each other. I didn't grow up like this. Because affirmative action benefited the boomers who are now wanting to keep their world safe while not concerning themselves with us Gen Xers and the millennials who we have to now save. That's the weight on the ADOS shoulder. That's the weight. That's why I'm tired. Because even when I lay down, it's just for a cat nap. I go down late, I'm up early. Waging wars over the social media because I can reach the most people there. That's why I do it. That's why we all do it. Movement takes cat naps. So you want to make a way for these hardworking people to have a pathway to citizenship before making ADOS, whom you are responsible for decimating. Go over to YouTube and listen to his video on the Senate floor. He told the Senate, I don't give a damn that we tether them to the bottom and make them turn on one another and make them commit crimes in their own communities. I don't care. What about my white mama? What about my white children? Lock them up. It's all in the YouTube. I'm not making it up. It was viral. It was venomous. He called us super predators. That's who Hillary got it from. And you want to sit down with Cardi B and not come and have a real conversation with the ADOS movement. We see the puckery. And we're here to destroy this country and break the back of the establishment so that we're not the only ones suffering. Yes, there will be casualties. We just won't be the only ones. How about that? We are going to socialize our suffering this election cycle and every election cycle henceforth until you run us that check in the trillions over multi-generations. That is what the ancestors has called us to do. I'm on my square. Growing our economy and expanding economic opportunities across the country by improving and increasing opportunities for legal immigration and preserve the long-standing directive of our immigration system to reunite families and enhance our diversity. So, anywho, let me go back over what I read you. This is short, but I have to remind you of it, that our ancestors back in the early 1900s was trying to call for a protest vote behind the puckery of Roosevelt. So I'm just going to read a couple of paragraphs, okay, before I move into our two dead presidents for the evening. Get your libations, like Yvette says. I love her when she says that. Get your little coffees or whatever, your wine, because it's story time, boys and girls, okay? Now, this is from Theodore Roosevelt. I read it on Sunday, but I'm going to be repeating this probably every show until Election Day. 1901 to 1909 is when he was in office. Okay, by the time Theodore, this is a snippet from that, it's not the whole thing. By the time Theodore Roosevelt entered office, Republicans had long since abandoned their most loyal constituency. But in the face of legalized segregation and lynch law, the Republicans were still seen as Black people's best chance. Black Northerners were still able to exercise the franchise, and Roosevelt knew it. That is why he waited until after Election Day in 1906 to announce that he was committing a grave injustice against a group of Black soldiers. Now, this is especially for those of you who think, just vote for Biden. Wait till he gets into office and then make your demands. Let me share with you how that turned against the Black folks of yesteryear in the 1900s and what they recommended in its stead. The same thing we're trying to do right now. The 25th Infantry Regiment of Buffalo Soldiers, a name for the Black regiments of the time, arrived at Fort Brown near Brownsville, Texas on July 28, 1906. From the moment they appeared, white residents kept up a campaign of vicious harassment and threats. When a white man was shot to death, members of the regiment were forced to flee a mob of people who accused them of committing the murder. Tensions were so high that the regimental commander ordered an early curfew and confined the troops to their barracks. A second shooting was blamed. Me speaking. Isn't this what happened in the Breonna Taylor case? The forensics are saying it wasn't Kenneth Walker's bullet in the dumbass officer's leg, that one of his officers shot him in the leg. So it's very likely that they murdered two of their own to do what happened next. A second shooting was blamed on the already quarantined soldiers, despite confirmation of their presence in the fort. Without an official charge or trial, 167 of the troops were dishonorably discharged. They were at their barracks. And this mofo, after he got elected, without an official charge charge or trial, 167 of the troops were dishonorably discharged. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Deprived of pensions and prevented from gaining federal employment or reinstatement into the Army. For murders they did not commit, for murders that more than likely were white on white, to undo these black men who they considered too uppity. Patriotism. This is what happened after this mofo got elected. While y'all sit up here and tell me, get him in there. How'd that work with Obama? This decision was not announced until November 5th, 1906, after congressional elections had taken place, and leaders such as W.E.B. Du Bois had urged black voters to stay in the Republican column. Isn't that what these black faces are out here doing? Telling us to stay in the Democratic column. No matter what, it don't matter that they have left you totally out. It don't matter they're not giving you reparations and you're tethered to the bottom. $200 liquid in LA, $8 liquid in Boston, $11 liquid in Miami. Vote blue no matter damn who. That's why I read from this book. So y'all can understand, ain't nothing changed. And the only way things change is if we change it. We've got to do something really radical. This will be the last election cycle. It matters. What time is it? 1:07. Okay. I am going to only read one president. I'll pick up the other one on Thursday. Woodrow Wilson is rather long. I'm not going to do him until Thursday. I'll do him on his own. The other one's short. I'll do that next, and then we'll pray out, okay? Oh, I have to read your comments first. And then we'll pray out. Okay, this is the last part of that segment, and then we'll move over to the next dead president. Dr. Charles Morris, pastor of New York's Abyssinian Church, spoke for most of Black America when he described the chain of events. Quote, the president's decree was signed the day after the election. He shot us when our gun was empty, meaning they had already cast their vote. But we shall have 2 years to work. But we shall have, ADOS, 2 years to work. And our slogan shall be for a Republican Congress to protect our people in the South. And our slogan will be a Democratic Congress to protect the over 42% of ADOS who rely on government assistance by design of institutional systemic racism, and a Democratic president to resent the insult heaped upon us, and a Republican president to resent the insult heaped upon us. Thus shall we answer Theodore Roosevelt. Thus shall we answer Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Once enshrined in our love as our Moses, now enshrouded in our scorn as our Judas. I was reading from Prejudential, Black America and the Presidents by Margaret Kimberly. Let me frame what was going on during this time before I jump into William Howard Taft. I'll read your comments, and then we'll retire for the evening with a prayer. A covering. I call it a covering, and a reminder that the God is within you. Okay, let me give you some frame. I fold my pages so I can jump right to them. The number of Black people in the U.S. had doubled in the past 4 decades and now stands at 8.8 million. Why is that, family? Because they had us on breeding farms. There came a point when they could no longer import us from Africa and the islands. So they put us on breeding farms. They raped us. And they made us breed with our own men, whether they were your husband or not. It was hellish. We went from 16 to 8.8 million by the 1900. In 1900 as well, the average life expectancy for Black people is 33 years. For white people, it is 47. In 1920, with the passage of the 19th Amendment, all Black people, men and women, gained the right to vote. And we'll stop right there. I think I've gone a little bit too far. Okay. That's what's happening, to give you some context, okay? Let me mark my book. So William Howard Taft, 1909 to 1913, assumed the presidency after serving as Theodore Roosevelt's Secretary of War. When Roosevelt left office, Taft was his hand-picked successor. The Republican Party, which had done so little but remained the Black People's Party, was again in power. They once again proved themselves to be false friends to people desperate for even the appearance of fair treatment. What's that sound like, boys and girls? The same thing we're undergoing right now with the Democrats. Taft's Republican predecessors had gone through the motions of protecting Black political and human rights in the southern states, but he didn't even bother to pretend. During the 1908 campaign, he wrote, quote, "The truth is that the Negro question, so far as the South is concerned, in many of the state is a mere ghost of a past issue. And I don't propose to raise it again except in a discussion with the Negroes themselves as to their course in the matter." Close quote. You take our 40 acres and a mule and give us sharecropping, convict leasing, but you want to know what our course is? You amass 11 trillion post-slavery, which has grown to 100 trillion, but we're supposed to pull ourselves up by our bootless straps. Okay. Taft's Republican predecessors had gone through the motions of protecting Black political and human rights in the southern states, but he didn't even bother to pretend. Oh, I'm sorry, let me jump. Before he was inaugurated, he communicated through Booker T. Washington that he wanted all Black appointees removed from their offices in the South. William D. Crum is one such example. Born into freedom in a racially mixed family, he was a physician who became active in South Carolina Republican politics. Theodore Roosevelt had appointed him as collector of customs in Charleston in 1902, but the Senate refused to confirm him. The previous president had used recess appointments to keep him in office, but as president-elect, Taft made it clear that he wanted Crum out before his inauguration. In a December 1908 speech, Taft said the federal government had nothing whatsoever to do with the dreaded, quote, social equality, close quote, a code word for full citizenship rights. He also wanted nothing to do with controversies about Black office holders. The presence of a handful of Black people appointed to government positions was all the entire group had to show for 40 years of supporting Republicans. Taft had decreed that even that hope was gone. Booker T. Washington may not have held any government position, but he was the go-to Black man with whom presidents conferred on any issue impacting Black people. Sounds like James Clyburn. As he said himself, he was most happy to provide the same assistance to Taft that he did to Roosevelt. This, after what they did to the soldiers. He was still willing to be Tom. Hello, Clyburn. Washington asked Crumb to meet him in Philadelphia, but first admonished him to tell no one about their meeting. When Crumb arrived, he found that Washington had already prepared a letter of resignation. Washington wrote to Emmett Scott, one of his Tuskegee machine right-hand men. Mr. Taft positively will not renominate him. The only question is whether he can serve his own interests by getting out gracefully or being forced out. Mr. Taft feels most kindly towards him and is going to do his best to provide him something else, but he will feel more kindly to him if he gets out in the way suggested, that is, by resigning. Further than this, I find that people everywhere, even among our best friends, are tired of the Crumb case. Our own people. Having sacrificed Crumb, Washington went about the business of serving Taft as happily as he had said he would. Washington quite shamefully took credit for toning down Taft's inaugural speech. It isn't clear how bad it was before the Wizard of Tuskegee involved himself, but in the final version, Taft said that he wouldn't appoint blacks to office in places where they weren't wanted. This meant none of them would serve in the South at all, or in many places in the North either. Shortly after his inauguration, Taft made a tour of Southern states. Like his Republican predecessors, he wanted the Republican Party there to be lily white. There was no mistaking his position when he went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and gave a speech to the historically black Biddle University, which is now known as Johnson C. Smith University. He told black students that they were, quote, adapted to be farmers, close quote. But according to press reports, he got applause just the same. Black Americans were very much disillusioned with the Taft administration, and with good reason. But Taft was followed by Woodrow Wilson, a man who consciously sought to turn back the clock and eliminate any political gains made by black people. On Thursday, Woodrow Wilson will get his own little segment. Then we'll pick up, on the shorter ones. That's Thursday. Hopefully it's 6 o'clock, 6, 7-ish. I try not to go on when the other shows are on so everybody can get their time. But sometimes we overlap because we go long. You see, it's an hour 17 and I'm still here. But I have to read if there was anything in here that you guys were saying that I need to show. Okay. Manes Aptara, thank you for joining the live. I'm just going to go through and read the highlights of anything important. ADOS family, William Dickens, I just love you, Black and Strong. That's Twin City ADOS in the house. I love you. Old Joe may fall, die at any time. That's the problem, family. If Biden folds in his first couple of years, we're going to get 12 years of Democrats, and Kamala is going to have a stone throw to the presidency. She will be the president, even though we clearly said during her run for the president down here, she was polling in fourth. We clearly did not want her. And they're forcing Biden and Kamala on us thanks to Obama. William Dickens says, being on the same page is a must. I will be in this fight even if I have to fight by myself. I'm with you, Brother William. We here to stay. We ADOS to the end. We fight like brothers and sisters, and we hug and make up like brothers and sisters, okay? That's what we do. I love you, Yvette. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. I'm not a minion. I'm not a loyalist. I don't kiss rings. I don't ask permission to move. But I love you. And I respect you a great deal and your contribution, you and Tones, to this movement. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. You better pick up a phone and call me. I'll tell you straight away. You can't play chess if you're always in checkmate, okay? Hi, Trey. Thank you for joining the live, my love. ADOS has been the focus, moving the line forward. Yes, we have. We are the movement. We are the movement. Don't let nobody ever shame you for your contribution and make you think it's insignificant. It's all relative, and nobody can tell you how to move. Real talk, until all of us is free, none of us are free. Because I don't sleep well seeing what's happening to my brothers and sisters. I feel blessed and highly favored. So I'm using my gifts to speak up for those who can't. And I'm proud to do it. I'm a proud ADOS. It was born in me that way. My daddy was a Panther, and he taught me love of myself and love for my people. So I'm in my work. I ran from it for a long time, but I'm in my purpose. I am walking upright in my purpose and proud of it. Travis, talk your shit, Angela Nevada. I support you fully. Black Power. Yes, I love this Ida B. Wells reference. Oh, child, that's just a huge compliment. Felina, the VP debates are tomorrow. The attacks on Angela Walker is Redick. I don't know what that means. I will share something to you in the chat. Okay, my love, that's Felina Irene Farley, Ohio State rep for the Green Party. Tamara Johnson, Sheely for Georgia. Yes, Tamara for Georgia, please donate. And look on her site so you can get a list to make dials. She needs all hands on deck. We need to get her into the Congress. And understand that the polls aren't a reflection of how she's doing. They're not polling her. And they're not going to get the votes where she's going to get the votes. And they don't have the power of the ancestors beneath them the way this movement does. Because they don't have anything on their agenda for us, okay? And I know that she's in the ADOS, Atlanta, but when you're running for a seat like the Senate, that represents all of this country, all of ADOS. When we can get one in there, we can get 150. It's heave ho. Everybody reach for one and help the other and pick up a brick. It doesn't matter where you herald from. I'm always available to help you do what you need to do to get elected. You can come on the show. You always have a platform here. Always welcome. I'll move heaven and earth around your agenda to come on the show and talk to my people. Don't forget Sunday. Look out for that notice when I confirm with Angela Walker for Sunday, vice presidential candidate for the Green Party, whom the Democrats are pushing off the ballot in Texas and Pennsylvania already. We need to give them 5%. Don't throw the vote away. They've got reparations, and she's coming on the show. They want the ADOS vote. She's willing to come over here and spend time with little old me and us. Big old us, little old me. So let's be here Sunday. Look out for that notice as soon as I confirm. We vote Green Party. Absolutely. I voted Green Party last election cycle and the most progressive Democrats I could find. But yeah, wash, rinse, repeat. That's my square. And I advise you guys to do the same. Instead of this lesser two evil two-step shuffle to your peril. I just read to you what's going down. I read to you that our ancestors back in the early 1900s were calling on the same to break the back of the establishment and give them the middle finger back and gridlock it so that we can work in the next 2 years to find viable candidates for the Congress to run them in the 2 years their seats are up. We vote Green Party. Yes, we do, my love. Native Black American, foundational Black, American descendant of chattel slavery. We all of that. But we're working on a specific ethnicity down here for the ADOS. We are working on that as an ethnicity so that we can come out from the shadows. How dare we be 90% of the Blacks in this country and the most oppressed, because they're doing it by weaponizing Black immigrants who they give set-asides to and greater advantage with our affirmative action to mask our failure in this country. And they give us a decadent veil. I just shared about John Witherspoon getting paid $5,000 on a movie that grossed $30 million in my feed. Last Friday or Fridays or whatever, that Ice Cube movie with Chris Tucker them, the actors got paid $5,000 and the movie grossed $30 million. That's ADOS life. But they want to bring all the other actors and claim that they're more talented. Who can be more talented at playing ADOS than ADOS? I ain't got to go to school to show up and play me. Okay? But you want to pretend like the Brits have better training than the very ADOS who built this country on our backs with our lives? No, that's a way to mask your failure and to deny you the reparations you are owed, around $24 trillion over multi-generations. Antoine, thank you for joining live. Got here late. What happened with Yvette and Tone? Well, you have to watch at the top of the show, honey. It's not. I can't. Just if you go and watch my show from Sunday, you'll get some insight. And to me, this is an easier show. It's milder. It's more loving. I'm not, you know, flying off the hamster wheel. I'm Namye Hill Renge Kyo today. So I will watch from the top of the show and you will hear some of the things that have been a challenge with the movement as we grow. We're growing. It's growing pains, honey. Okay. I'm all the above. It's my lineage and we do political advocacy. Yes, Travis, FBA in the house. I'm hashtag ADOS. Yes, he is. He was born here. So he is still us. He comes on and does much for ADOS. What happened on Twitter? I really don't do Twitter. You don't want to do Twitter. It's just, infighting and dragging and things that we shouldn't be doing. So if you listen to the show on Sunday, or even better, just take it from the top of the show, you'll find out. I represent Black America, period. I am a revolutionary. This is Travis speaking. The Second Amendment Unity Walk was historic with hashtag ADOS Central Texas. When are you coming on my show? I can't believe you didn't contact me to join the show. We must do a special show with you and, who's my love that came on the show with you? Bazelle. You guys need to come back and talk to me, okay? Thursday. Because Sunday is taken. If you want to come Thursday, I'll do you guys the top of the show before I do story time. Would love to have you. I walk in spirit with my ancestors every day. Ban no-knock warrants. Private prisons, qualified immunity. Real talk, whatever it takes to get our justice claim, reparations. Don't come for my baby Angela Nirvana. She is the truth. Okay? You heard Travis. Or make him mad. Black Dollar University, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you, Shayna, for joining the live. I love Mike Michelson's slogan t-shirts. He's got some awesome t-shirts. Support that brother, Mike Michelson. Mike, if you're still here, anybody knows his site where he sells his shirts, he is cold to the bone. I got another. What's Shayna? You don't do shirts too? If you got a business that you need support, please, please, please put it in the chat. I'd love to send you business, okay? That's how we grow. We got to take care of each other. Oh, you look beautiful, Angela Nirvana, as always. Thank you, my love. Thank you. Be the power. Thank you. I'm white, but I love all black, white, yellow. Oh, New Jersey one Spartan. I love you, black and strong. Guess what? Even white folks are black. Y'all all come from us, okay? White allies, blue allies, purple allies. Y'all welcome over here. I love allies. If you love me, I love you. Okay? Just do the work and let it speak for itself. Amen. Angela Nirvana got the street. I don't know what that means. Oh, Angela Nirvana got these streets. That's what my daughter says. You here for the streets? Yes, I am. GTG. Stay safe. Everybody stay safe. We support our people who move in the needle. Yes, we do. Every dollar means something. We don't have to agree on everything, but we have a common interest, a Black agenda. That was Black Dollars University speaking. Please put your businesses in here, your websites. Let people know what you're doing. Every show, put your businesses in here. They might need something from you. Make me a moderator, Angela. I'm your number one fan. Oh, if I knew how to do that. Teach me. I'm still learning. There's so much on this StreamYard, I don't even know how to do. I have to sit and study it, right? Shayna says, fire. Yes, fire. What's up, Ohio players? What's up, Pops? Y'all pray for my Pops from the Ohio players. He's on his last, he's about to, I don't want to speak it into existence, but it's the circle of life, family. Death is a part of life. So you ride this mother sucker till the wheels fall off. You hear me? Talk to her. She has an open dialogue with our people. I don't know. Oh, Angela Walker. I think that's who you're talking about. I'm excited to talk to her. We're fighting mess from all sides, and they're talk about freaking feelings. Right. We're being squeezed from all over the place. You got to get out your feelings. Let me tell you something. I grew a thicker skin. I grew a thick skin when I became a mommy. And then I grew a thicker skin when I joined this movement. Woo, they have come for me. And they continue to come for me. And look, I'm healed. I don't care. Because the people that roll with me, roll with me. Y'all ride with me no matter what. And I love y'all black and strong. You know I do. Thank you. That shit is old. Stop with the nonsense, family. It's in our rearview mirror. Yes, it is. Get out your feelings. Me neither. Get in the fight. ADOS Black America. Tutu. Keep pushing, Angela. We got to move the needle however we can to start the discussion. Any ADOS groups in Dayton? Yes, there is. President, I will put you in touch with, do you know Marlon Aldrich? Irene Blanchard? I will put you in touch with the ADOS movement in Dayton. I don't know how active they are. That Mark Stevenson is straight up fire out of Columbus. I think let me give you all the information, but Mark Stevenson in Columbus is worth our ride, okay? he's about that. He's about that ADOS. He is powerful in the movement. We do politics with Angela Nirvana. Absolutely. Mark Stevenson. Okay, Shayna. Look at my keyboard warriors. Okay, Felina says, see, I posted the ranked choice voting group I'm involved in for a statewide ballot initiative next year. Okay, we can help Felina over at the Black Caucus. Felina, put some information in the chat if you're still here. It's a long show. Because there's a Black Caucus. There's also the Black AmBoss Caucus, founded by Dawn Page. Shout out to Dawn Page. I love you, Black and Strong, my sister. But I do believe Darity is doing work over in the AmBoss Caucus. We got to type all that stuff in here. I don't have time to type it. I'll do it later. You will not be dragged because you have our full support here with ADOS Central Texas. Y'all don't drag me. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about, the minions. We can't serve two masters. We can invite everyone into our fight. Everyone is welcome. If you're an ally, you're welcome over here to help us fight. I'm got my ear to the ground. I just joined about 3 work groups within the ADOS Cali. I'll be calling on y'all to make dials, okay? Shayna says, hello. Tamara got to win to race. She don't have time for Twitter. Absolutely. She don't have time to be over in Twitter with that silliness. Click on the people in your chat to nominate moderators. Okay. Next on Thursday's show, I'm going to practice doing that, okay? We can't invite everyone in. We can invite allies in. Yes, we can. Everybody's got some nonsense going on, but I've talked to some serious players in the movement from all walks of FDA, B1. They're serious about getting this work done, and I'm absolutely going to work with them. I work with Republicans too, because ADOS ain't a party thing, it ain't a movement thing. It's an ADOS thing. So I work with who want to work with me. Jim Crow Joe can... I'm trying to keep it PG, although I do let some expletives get out. God is still working with my mouth. People need an access code to get in Black America now. Ain't that something? Yeah, we're going to have to start doing that. They won't get in without our access code. That's right, Black Dollars. My Long Island one? No, Jim Crow Joe Biden. Absolutely, family. Remember, Green Party or blank at the top of the ticket, don't run the risk of running at ADOS. This ain't the time to be cute and make a statement. They are looking to suppress your votes. Don't help them. Don't mail them. If you can afford it, you can go early vote or drive-through vote. Put your mask on. Make sure you're well enough, okay? But please, don't trust this mail. It took me a month to get my sister's beautiful mask that she made for me. Oh, it's too far away. I was going to show it to y'all. Hey, at Black Dollars University. Oh, they giving love. I love how we love. I'm a reparationist too. My Long Island one. Yes, I am. I'm an OG reparationist. Amen to that. Okay. The Democrats and the Republicans. Okay. Tamara Johnson-Shealy is for real. I love her deeply. I've been rolling with Tamara long before the inaugural conference. Okay. Shortly after founding ADOS SoCal, I was privileged to meet this sister over the phone and hug her in Atlanta at the inaugural conference, which was fire. I saw a picture of me and Yvette, and it just brought so much warmth to my heart. Remember y'all that was down there? She took photos with us, her and Tone. Wow, they were totally mauled and mobbed. That's how much love we have for them. Trey says he's a professional truck driver too. Then come on and talk with Angela. She's beautiful. Visit them at gp.org. Now, like I said, the reparations isn't perfect, but at least they're offering it on their platform akin to Tamara Johnson-Shealy. I'm concerned about Kendrick Wilson in Louisville at Black Dollar University. Did you know the police stopped Dr. Kevin Cosby and his wife the night they dropped Yvette and Tone off at their hotel? What? Wait. Ooh. Take a breath. My Long Island one, you might want to hit me up at Angela Nirvana on Facebook, or you can email me at Friends of ADOS TV at Gmail. I'd like to learn more about that. And we're supposed to support Biden? Hell no. That's right, my Long Island. I wish I would have known. ADOS is here with you. Thank you. The Descendants of American Slaves is here with you too. Peace, Angela and ADOS fam. What's up, Trey X? Robin Freelix, I love you black and strong, my sister. Any ADOS who vote Biden or Trump is insane. Well, we won't name call. Everybody have their reasons, but let's be on our square. The war on drugs destroyed 2 generations. Yes, we haven't recovered yet. And then they want to blame us for the black on black crimes and murders in our communities. As if that wasn't by the hand of institutional systemic racism. I don't understand us sometimes. All true, Angela. F Cardi B, I'm with you on that. Teaching our young girls to be thoughts. It's dreadful. It's dreadful what they're doing to our young. We have to stay diligent, family. We have to be the gatekeepers of our children's mindsets. We must share with them what is good to feed their minds, because you are what you feed your mind. That is who you are. Okay? So you have to be the gatekeeper. You have to teach your children not to become one with this dreaded music that Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and these hookers are pushing on our children. They are so much bigger and better and brighter than that. But that is all by institutional systemic racism design. They want to decimate us. You don't see white folks pushing this kind of lyrics in their music to decimate and destroy their women and their men and to have them turn one against the other. I'm all about black on black love. Because why? People like RBG, right? And being in support of abortion rights, putting abortion clinics in our communities while starving us of resources to take care of our children, and then locking our men in prison while giving us the war on drugs. Yeah. And so by that, we have lost through abortion. And this has been years ago, this last number I'm citing to you. Since 73, we have aborted 20 million beautiful black babies because we can't afford them. And it's being used as a form of birth control because people are trying to release the stress of being ADOS in a country that hates them. It's a lot. So we medicate through sex, we medicate through drugs, alcohol, emotional, physical abuse. We are a traumatized people. And therapy is definitely on the Black agenda. We are in the most dire need of it. But this is by design to turn us against each other. Well, they will never turn me from you because I understand how we got here. I'm sorry I jumped a little bit. I like to read your comments. They give me life. Oh, Mark Stevenson. Mark Stevenson, he's in the chat. This brother is cold to the bone. I love you, Mark. Thanks for joining the live. Cousin, get in touch with that brother. He's doing more than dating, honey. He is the business. He is tearing up Columbus politics. I live 45. Okay. I'm sorry. I jumped too far ahead. I want to go back. Dawn is in the building. I love you, Dawn. Oh, thank you, my hair. Oh, y'all never know what you're going to get with my hair. I'm an artist. I change my hair. I change the color. I do all manner of things, family. You never know what you're going to get. But that's how I create and how I express. And I love expressing in many different forms. I'm just a big old artist. My ADOS, okay. Subscribe to Street Cred. The war on drugs, okay. Jumping down. Almost finished, family. Oh, true, Angela. Okay, my fourth great grandfather was my Long Island one says my fourth great grandfather was an abolitionist, Benjamin Lattimore Jr. Our fight is reparations. It is just rich. Join the Black Collective Revolution. Hashtag Black Collective Revolution. Please join it, family. 4 more years of Trump doesn't scare me at all. But our extinction scares me more than Trump. Rest in Black power, Benjamin Lattimore. Absolutely. All the ancestors, y'all are just giving us life. Y'all are the reason why the movement take cat naps. The ancestors are driving this fight. You better know it. They are with us, family. I feel our ancestors all the time. They talk to me right now. They're speaking to me. I get chills on my arms. They're saying, keep going, daughter. It don't matter if they drag you. We said go. We know if they don't offer us anything now, we won't get it later. Absolutely. Ain't no such thing as vote for Biden and then make demands. Y'all got us mixed up. We learned that with Obama. We ain't waiting no more. We still waiting for Obama. He's still a no to reparations, constantly telling us still as he interferes in the elections that he ain't doing nothing specifically for us. Hashtag justice for Breonna Taylor. Oh, yes. Justice for all of our angels, all of our fallen comrades. Yeah. I live 45 minutes from Brownsville, Texas. That was Trey, I think. I'm afraid to go back up to see who that was. Black dollars. After the voting is over, we still must build. We can't count on white folks to liberate us. This work is never done. I told you we were able to celebrate the reparations study. Now we got to fight because Narcan and Cobra are trying to co-opt our efforts after a year of, fighting to get the signature at the 11th hour. Thank you, Ice Cube. So the work is never done. We're going to have to fight to get it. We have to fight to get it right. Then we have to fight to keep it. And we have to teach our children to fight. The fight is on. We'll be fighting for the duration. But so our ancestors fought and got us free. They, unbeknownst to me until I was reading Presidential, were the ones to put pressure on Abe Lincoln to emancipate us. 500 of them fled, escaped from slavery to the Union camps. He was forced to deal with us by our ancestors, and they weren't taking no for an answer. That is the strength that is hardwired in our DNA. And that's why this petty crap on Twitter matters not. It's in my rearview mirror. I love everybody, Black and strong. But I'm going to always tell you the truth. And I'm going to always get on you if you cause any hurt or harm to the beautiful ADOS. We are traumatized enough, okay? So I'm going to have to tell you like it is because that's just how I do, okay? Daryl Campbell, thank you for joining the live. Our Black think Trump is bad, but let Biden in office, he will make Trump look like a choir boy. You better know it. It's sad that these Democrats and the media, complicity, corporate media, Clinton News Network has made such a monster of Trump. Compare what Biden has done to undermine ADOS. He has voted for war. He was the VP when Gaddafi was executed by Obama for wanting to break free from the New World Order. He is the author of the 94 crime bill, say he don't give a damn that they tethered us to the bottom and made us criminals and murderers in our own communities. What about my white mama and my white family? Hillary Clinton would have bought y'all Armageddon. Y'all don't believe me. Y'all gonna want Trump over Biden. Biden gonna leave in about 1 to 2 years tops. And Kamala is bought and paid for by Hillary's camp. She is going to be doing the bidding of Hillary Clinton. And she's going to get elected for 2 more terms. We will be extinct by the time that woman who has a great disdain for us finishes with us. Y'all don't even know, y'all don't understand what's coming for us if we allow the Democrats to get a trifecta. Republicans, we want Trump to take the top, and we want the Democratic Congress to tie their hands so we can unseat folks in Congress in the next 2 years. And then prayerfully, they'll be whistling reparations on the platform. Prayerfully in 2024, They'll finally be talking sense, and we'll get the reparations we're owed. If not, we'll wash, rinse, repeat the strategy of breaking the back of the establishment, okay? Okay. Bye-bye, my Long Island. I'm almost done. We pushing Black Power here in Central Texas. You need to join us ASAP. Organizing is the key. That's Black Dollars. Good night, fam. Okay, peace and blessings. Hands down, shoot back. That's right. African Black Solutions. He wants immigrants, always has. Mark, what's up? Thank you for getting in touch with my cousin. Take care of him, Mark. Give him lots to do. Christopher Browner, thank you for joining the live. Thanks, sis. We appreciate everything you are doing. Oh, I appreciate you too for being here and being in support. Ida B. Wells 2.0 for President 2024. Don't tempt me. Antonio, thank you for joining the live. Bless you. Stay safe, sister. 12 Tribes, Texas, thank you for joining the live. Antonio, New York City, thank you for joining the live. You found me on YouTube. Yay, subscribe and share. Antonio, New York City, what it do? At Black Dollars. Hey, brother, how you, man? Angela, you are my internet mentor and inspiration. Thank you for your courage. Oh, you encouraged confidence in me to speak up for myself to anyone and not back down. That just gave me life. I'm going to keep that up. I'm walking in Black Power, brother, at Black Dollars University, U.S. Green Party Black Caucus. Yes, please go check them out and join. Stay Black and stay strapped. Yes. BT, thank you for joining the live. They got to be kidding me. Okay, I'm just going through quickly. What's up, Mike Michelson? Namyeho Renge Kyo. I'm here. Hey. We just showing love at this point. Okay, family. Oh, child. Okay, let me pray y'all out. I want to tell you, family, I thank you so much for joining live. I thank you for your love and support. I want to pray this covering over you, that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever ADOS and its allies are, God truly is, because why, family? You are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until Thursday, family, 6 or 7 or whenever mommy duties are done, you make it a beautiful, God-inspired evening and next couple of days, and you go out in these streets and act like you know who you are. I love you, Black. I love you, strong. Night, family. Peace.